Good morning, and thank you for joining us today for the Future of Maintenance webinar. I will be one of your hosts here today. My name is Vicki, and just a few things I want you to note before I hand it over to our awesome presenters. If you want to chat with other attendees or your speakers, you can use the chat function. If you have a question, we really want to answer your questions. Please go ahead and enter them into the question box, and you'll see all of that in your toolbar. And without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to Ryan.
Thank you so much, Vicki, and thank you everyone for joining us today, where I'm going to be talking a little bit about the future of maintenance here at UpKeep. And more specifically, we're going to be talking about asset operations management. A little bit about myself. My name is Ryan. I'm the CEO and founder of UpKeep. I'm also joined here today with our Director of Product Management, Henry Prey, who's also going to be talking a little bit more about our product and the future of it. So again, thank you everyone for helping make today a big success. What I also want to thank everyone for doing is helping UpKeep be named a leader within the CMMS marketscape. More recently, IDC named UpKeep as a leader within the entire category, and that's all thanks to everyone here today, all of our customers, industry thought leaders, and people that have supported us over the last 5 years. I feel incredibly privileged to be named a leader in the space, and we would not be here without you. Just a reminder of who we are and what UpKeep is. UpKeep was founded in 2016, and over the past 5 years, we've grown a ton. We have over 3,000 customers all around the world. We've raised $50 million in venture capital, and we have over 6,000 community members that have supported UpKeep and supported our entire community towards basically changing and innovating on this entire industry. Feel very, very grateful for all of the amazing progress that we've made as a company, and it's all thanks to, again, everyone here that's joined in our webinar and that have supported us along our path over the last 5 years. To really transform this entire industry. But, enough about us, enough about UpKeep. What I'm here to talk about today is really the future of maintenance, where it's headed, and our belief around the future of our entire industry. And my goal today is to inspire all of us here within this webinar that's listening to us live, joining us from all around the world, or maybe watching a recording of this a couple days, weeks, even years out into the future. My goal today is to inspire us to be part of shaping the future of maintenance. Before I do that, again, I want to talk a little bit about who I am and how I first started UpKeep. Again, my name is Ryan. I went to Cal Berkeley as a chemical engineer. My first job was actually working in a manufacturing plant. This was me on my first day of work. I worked at this plant called Tricep Manufacturing. We manufactured reverse osmosis membranes used for brackish water desalination and a little bit of wastewater treatment. This is what our plant actually looked like. And every single day, I was constantly thinking, how do we make our manufacturing process go better, faster, smoother, and run more effectively and run more productively? But I noticed a big problem within our manufacturing plant. We'd have broken pieces of equipment, and our entire process was either paper-based and desktop-based, and it was totally broken. We turned to technology to help make the days, lives, and jobs easier for us. But really, in practice, technology was letting us down. What happened is a boiler would go down. Someone would call a facility manager who writes it down on a piece of paper. The facility manager calls a technician. The technician writes it down on a piece of paper and pencil, goes out to the job site. We asked them to write it down on a piece of paper and pencil. And then they had to come back to the office and then retype all of their notes back in. And remember, I went to Cal Berkeley, which is actually in the center and heart of innovation and technology up in the Bay Area, the Silicon Valley. And I was constantly asking myself, where the hell is all of this innovation in manufacturing? I remember seeing like all of these big headlines saying, AI machine learning is going to take over factory floors. I remember seeing, reading these headliners in the news saying that 30 million US workers are going to lose their job because of AI and job loss. How bad is it that AI automation is going to replace human workers? And I just kept seeing this time and time and time again. But I was reading these headlines, but working in a manufacturing plant, I was seeing something completely different. What was going on within this manufacturing plant was that we had large pieces of equipment, we turned to technology, but the technology again was failing us. And we weren't innovating on our process. And the whole thought of us using technology to make the days, lives, and jobs easier for us was doing the opposite. Instead, we were asking everyone to write everything down on a piece of paper and pencil and come back to the office to retype all their notes back in. And I was really passionate about making a change within our industry. But every single time I tried to do that, I was told time and time again that things in our industry were the way that they were. And if I wanted to change anything, it would take decades for that to happen. And ultimately, 5 years ago, this is why I started UpKeep. I believe that technology should make the days, lives, and jobs easier for technicians. And I didn't believe that it would take decades for this to happen. And over the past 5 years, with a little bit of hard work and a ton of luck, I've gotten a few others to believe in this big shift in thinking too. And what I would also say is that this shift in mindset and believing that we can actually make a change and that we are the ones responsible for driving that change is ultimately what got UpKeep to where we are today. And today, we've transformed over 3,000 businesses off of this world of paper and pen and into this digital first, mobile first world built for technicians out on the shop floor. And I feel extremely privileged to say that, we have played a small part in transforming the industry, but today is all about the future. And I will also say that there is still a very long road ahead of us. And my goal again today was to inspire us to be part of this new shift in thinking. And I'm really excited by that. All right. What I want to say before I start talking about the future of maintenance is that before we can start looking at the future and before we can start looking and moving forward, I want to pause and take a look at where we are today. And what I'll say is that maintenance today is divided. Organizations right now are split into 3 different teams. You've got your maintenance team, you've got your operations team, you've got your reliability team. They're all working on the same asset, the same equipment in parallel, but they're not working together. Right now, we see this world as being divided. Maintenance cares about repairs, operations cares about what's going on within the production facility right now, and reliability cares about what's going to happen tomorrow. We're working on the same asset, but we're not working together. And it separates everything that we are doing for our equipment assets into silos. And on top of that, data is siloed. Maintenance teams right now today have access to more data than ever. You've got your IoT data, your ERP data, your MES systems, you have your CMMS, your EAM data. You have more data now than ever. But what we're seeing in the market is that data is not shared across platforms and teams, and it's fragmented across all of the different systems. What happens is that you have misaligned perspectives across the entire business. Again, we think that maintenance right now is divided and data is siloed. And this is not just a problem around data silos, it's actually causing problems within businesses. What we're seeing is that siloed data actually causes information gaps. This turns into rework. What we've read and what we've seen time and time again is that about 20% of work that's done in the field is actually rework. This is work that's redone because the original job was done incorrectly. This is 20% of our productivity is going down the drain We don't believe that this is the technician's fault. We believe that this is because they don't have the right access to information to get it right the first time. We talk about data silos, and then we talk about how we could get it right the first time, and this is actually causing 20% of productivity loss. There's a huge opportunity for us. And what I'll also say is that we've got these data silos, we've got rework, and what's also happening is that every single team, maintenance, operations, reliability, has different measures of success. We're working on the same asset, but we're approaching our work with misaligned goals. But I want to ask the question, everyone wants to improve the bottom line as much as possible, but right now we're working very independently to achieve this. Again, maintenance cares about repairs and what's going on, and their success is measured by work completed. Operations cares about production, and reliability cares about, longevity and failure rates over time. We've got misaligned goals, but we're all working to improve the bottom line. And what I'll say here is that we believe that this is simply not working. Through dividing work into 3 separate teams, I believe we are stuck in the cycle of being undersupported, undervalued, and misunderstood. And let me explain what I mean by that. I think technicians right now today are undersupported by technology, and they lack the systems that make the day's lives and jobs easier. We saw that, and that's ultimately why we started UpKeep. On top of that, we believe that budgets are misinformed. We talk to a lot of our customers out in the industry, and the most common ways to determine maintenance budgets is by a percentage of your total replacement asset value. But really, there's little rhyme or reason as to why. Why is 2% good and 5% is bad? I want to ask the question, how do we know if we have the right amount of financial resources allocated to maintenance if we're using this incomplete formula to decide? We talked about undersupported, undervalued. What we're also seeing is that maintenance teams are measured by what they do, not why they do it. We ran a survey, and what we saw was that the #1 goal for businesses was to reduce downtime. But then we also asked the question, how do you measure success of your maintenance team? And the 47% of respondents answered completed planned preventative maintenance. Organizations, through this KPI, are tracking what technicians are doing rather than the outcome of the hard work, which is ultimately reducing downtime. We believe that there's a big disconnect between what matters to a business and what's measured on a day-to-day basis. This is what I mean by technicians being undersupported, undervalued, and misunderstood. And we think that, what happens when this and if this continues to happen, we think that maintenance operations reliability, are basically going to continue to be divided, and companies are going to continue to view maintenance as a cost center, which ultimately we believe is going to restart the cycle that led us to where we are today of being undervalued, undersupported, and misunderstood. We're supposed to talk about the future of maintenance. I'm going to also say, this probably doesn't sound super inspirational just yet, but I want to ask everyone here to stay with me because I believe in a much brighter future for us. I believe that we have the opportunity to break this cycle. And I think that the most powerful thing that we can do is shift the industry's mindset and believe that we are the ones capable of doing this. I believe that we can shift the industry's understanding from looking at 3 different departments with 3 different goals, with 3 different ways of tracking their success, to one team working on your asset operations together to achieve a common goal. We believe this is called asset operations, where you're managing the entire asset life cycle, where you have comprehensive equipment health metrics, not data silos. And success is measured by business outcomes, not by how many hours you've worked. We think that with one team as asset operations, maintenance, reliability operations teams, Isolated data can now feed into one central command center, which gives you the ability to focus on the optimization of your assets across the entire life cycle and not just looking at one small piece of the pie. And our goal here is to change the conversation from how many hours did you work today to what's the value that you've added to the business. This shift in thinking is the first step to, I believe, a positive change in events that will kickstart this next generation of maintenance. And our belief is this next generation of maintenance is maintenance as a profit center. I know that a lot of people in the industry, we've talked about it, hey, I like the way that this sounds, but it's never going to happen here. I want to remind us all that impossible things have happened before, but it always starts with a group of people believing. And again, you remember that my first line that I said at the start of today's webinar is that I wanted to inspire all of us to be part of this change in this next generation of maintenance. I've spoken to a bunch of people within our industry, some people that are way, way smarter than me, and they believe in this change as well. Bob Latino, who's someone that I've learned so much from and I look up to as a mentor and someone who's done and written books about the reliability space. He said to me and to the UpKeep team, while continuous improvement efforts are great for gradual progress, disruption is needed to make quantum leaps. And in order to do this, such ideas need to be bold to get people's attention. And Ryan and the UpKeep team are providing this vision of what could be. But at the end of the day, it's up to us out in the field to make a difference. You can't do what you can't imagine, so why not imagine big? On top of that, another good friend of mine, Rob Kalvarewski, who is a senior reliability engineer, he said to us when we talked to him about unifying these three different departments, he said this shift to people-centric, continuous learning and collaborative mindset will finally yield the engagement, happiness, and business results that we've always deserved. Top of that, Ramesh Gulati, who's the Sherpa of maintenance reliability, again, has someone who's written books and books about maintenance reliability over several decades. He's a good friend of mine and someone that we've really tested this idea with. He told us that this divide between operations and maintenance has been created due to our reward system, and eliminating silos and making an asset-centric system is going to enable all of us to accomplish way more. We've got some of the best industry experts behind us who believe in this change. But what they've also said is that not only is this possible, they've also told us that it's more important now than ever. I'm sure we're all seeing this and witnessing it in real time. Right now, there's a big labor shortage, and right now we have high turnover. At the same time, we've also seen demand for maintenance workers projected to increase and grow by up to 13% over the next 10 years because of the continuing adoption of new technologies, robotics. But what we've also seen and read is that over as many as 2.1 million manufacturing jobs in the US are going to remain unfilled through 2030. Employers are saying that it's 36% harder to find talent than it was in 2018. And what we're also seeing is attrition rates as high as 25%. Imagine turning over your entire workforce every 4 years. That's what's going on right now. And we talk about the shift in our thinking to maintenance being better supported, better valued, and finally understood. We believe this is not just important, it is absolutely critical for our industry. What we've always said here is that, again, this next generation of maintenance is not just possible, not just necessary, but it all starts here with all of us today. And personally, I'm super excited for the days that I get to read the headlines instead of looking at how maintenance jobs are going to be decreased. I'm really excited towards in another 5 years from now, reading these headliners about how maintenance teams can produce record-breaking cost savings, and how maintenance is the secret weapon to top producing manufacturing companies. And again, I want to thank everyone here that supported us along this way. We've got a long journey ahead of us. And my commitment to our entire community members, everyone who supported us over the last 5 years, and people who are thinking about joining us along our journey, is that we are going to continue investing in the entire industry to support you, to invest in our field technicians to help redefine our space and get to a place where we don't have these data silos and we're beyond this whole idea of being misunderstood, undervalued, and undersupported. Right now, as a company, we are investing big time in, one, educating and connecting maintenance reliability industries through community. We've invested huge in our entire community because we believe that the best transformations in maintenance is not going to come through technology, it's actually going to come through people. The second thing that we're investing in big is this idea of unlocking the true potential of predictive maintenance through unifying passive and active data collection. We believe that breaking down data silos is going to give us better and higher quality data that will enable us as humans to really realize the full potential that we have, which really stems into the third thing that we're really investing in big as a company, to help elevate the role of technicians in a higher skill, higher paying roles through technology, and four, really enable teams to showcase their value in terms of ROI. Really get away from viewing maintenance as a cost center and into a profit center. Move away from looking at how maintenance success metrics are right now. How many hours did you work per day? How many work orders did you complete per day? How many PMs did you hit the checkbox off of? To what value did we create for your business? All right. Thank you everyone for listening to me talk a little bit more about the future of maintenance. I'm going to pass it over to Henry, who again is our Director of Product Management here at UpKeep, who's going to talk about what delivering the future looks like today.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for that introduction. As Ryan mentioned, my name is Henry Prey. I'm our Director of Product Management here at UpKeep, and I'm currently calling in from Los Angeles, where I help lead our product organization in delivering as much value as possible to UpKeep's customers. I've been with UpKeep for about 2 years now, and I'm really excited on what the future holds for the maintenance industry. So now we're going to slightly shift the conversation to be more focused on what UpKeep is investing in today and how we are planning on delivering the software to augment the future of maintenance. And I'd like to start with our current product offering. UpKeep really started out to mobilize and modernize the maintenance software industry. And we've done that with our core product, our flagship product, which consists of work order management, asset management, and parts management. Within our work order management, we can seamlessly collaborate and get real-time updates for all the work orders around your plant. Your entire asset history is now in your back pocket with information like downtime, depreciation, work done, and more. Find the parts you need as well to get the work done. With direct integrations into ERPs, you can submit purchase orders, restock parts, and address anything needed to keep your assets up. And all three of these portions of our platform roll up into a mobile-first solution that makes it super easy to capture and record the data that you need to help run your maintenance organization. But we quickly realized it's not just about allowing technicians to capture the data. We realized that the data needs to be captured automatically to really allow technicians, as Ryan mentioned, to be up-leveled in the organization, to work on more and more complex problems. And to meet that realization, we recently released our UpKeep Edge product that allows for passive data capture straight from remote condition monitoring. Along with it, we've released countless integrations and new sensor types in order to detect anomalies in temperature, current, vibration, liquid, and more. Our Edge platform then seamlessly integrates straight into our flagship product, making it easier than ever to capture the right data at the right time. We also pride ourselves on ease of use for our sensors. It only takes 30 minutes to set up a sensor, and we provide all the necessary equipment to get your team up and running and turning from reactive to proactive. Now, with that being said, it's not about what exists today, but where we are investing in to redefine the future of maintenance. The next generation of maintenance will come from collecting the right data displaying the best insights, and providing actionable feedback for maintenance teams to deliver on. At UpKeep, we are double downing on these 4 key ingredients to help drive this industry forward. Starting with passive data collection, which is collecting data automatically without human involvement. This will get the right data at the right time, and in turn will allow technicians to focus on these more complex problems and collect even more compelling data actively. All of this data will then feed into our automation pipeline, where predictive models built off of years and years of historical findings will help define what work needs to be done and when via our workflow engine. And this cycle will continue over and over again. And every time it is complete, you'll see improvements not only on your machinery, but also your bottom line. And we're really uniquely positioned to provide the necessary technology to help you do this. And it all starts with how you're monitoring your equipment. It really makes zero sense to use valuable man hours to record entry-level data into any system when it can be completed automatically. Not only are you able to get better, more accurate data in with passive data collection, but you're also freeing up these valuable resources to track and fix higher impact issues. And on top of that, passive data collection is one of the only ways to truly record unplanned downtime events, which is one of the top things that you want to start avoiding and tracking correctly. Our mobile-first solution makes it easier than ever for technicians to record the complexities that modern technology cannot automatically record or capture. And all of this data can now be fed into the future. Predictive modeling through our Future Insights engine. Predictive capabilities and insights all start with the data. Good data in, good data out. It's why we're investing heavily into products like UpKeep Analytics, our integration APIs, and our mobile platform. Ensuring that our users and customers have as little friction as possible in getting the right data into our ecosystem. The cleaner and more consistent data that you have running into UpKeep, the more you'll be setting yourself up for success in the future. And these predictive models will in turn run into our workflow back to the main core product to help you further refine your maintenance strategies. And to go into a little more detail about how UpKeep is making this possible, it all once again starts with our mobile-first application. We live in a mobile world. It makes little sense for technicians to be logging in activity anywhere besides where they are working on the moment they're working on it. Our mobile solution was built from the ground up to work in any environment and to integrate with any solution. We believe in making the mobile experience as painless and as easy as possible to ensure that the right work is getting done and logged. We're working on giving out even more support across different channels to make sure that no matter what the preferences of requesters or technicians, we can turn any level of communication into a work order. Working with technologies like natural language processing and digitization across text messages, emails, phone calls, it's really never been easier to log and plan for work requests, and work orders. We've also been expanding our QR code functionality to really make the keyboard a thing of the past, which means less time for taps and really more time for turning wrenches. With just the camera on your phone, technicians can now gain insight and log every request and task completed as needed. So once this data is entered into the mobile solution or passively from edge, it all runs into one centralized command center. And really, in order to showcase the value of your maintenance organization, you need to be able to have a bird's eye view of everything going on. With our open API, we allow you to integrate across your entire tech stack to get all the asset information you need in order to inform and help your future decisions. You're also able to get all the data you need as it relates to procurement, inventory, vendors, assets, and more. 80% of CMMS implementations fail due to lack of adoption, but UpKeep is made with that in mind to allow for the easiest of implementations in order to get your organization up and running as quickly as possible. And having all this access to one source of truth for all of your assets, their parts, the metadata that goes with them, this will allow you to track, automate, collaborate to not only resolve every work order faster, but really push your performance to the next level. So once this correct data, this good data is being stored, it's really time to drive efficiency in your operations. Instead of relying on purely preventive maintenance schedules or part quantity minimums, with end-to-end machine learning, you'll be able to quickly and decisively make the right decisions to ensure that you're getting the most out of your machines and your dollars. With all the data being collected, both passively and actively, technology is now advanced for us to start predicting when machines will break, when to order parts, when to administer work, and almost more importantly, when not to push that work order out in order to save time and money. When administering, every work order inside of UpKeep has immediate visibility and real-time updates to allow all members of your organization to move into lockstep. Our automated workflow engine allows you to standardize workflows, eliminate unnecessary repeatable tasks, and deliver value quickly. Lastly, UpKeep Analytics allows you to gain visibility across your entire organization with our leading business intelligence and customization to ensure you're asking the right questions and getting the answers that you need when you need them. With full custom reporting and state-of-the-art visualizations, you now have access to the performance of all your work orders, your asset failures, your work delays, and more. And all of this, everything we are building is to help shift the conversation. Help shift the conversation from maintenance being a cost center to a revenue driver. Allow not only your maintenance team, but your entire organization to see the true ROI that a well-oiled maintenance team has on the bottom line. And I want to leave you with this last stat. About half, as Ryan mentioned, actually, about half of all maintenance teams view their top KPIs completed planned maintenance, which is a really good start and probably a good leading indicator on what can happen. However, this does not always translate to overarching business goals. We really want to help showcase the true value that every technician, every planner, every supervisor has on the organization, and to showcase what truly efficient maintenance will do to your ROI. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Henry, and thank you so much, Ryan. I want to thank everyone for coming today. I am so sorry we've actually run a little bit over time. I've seen a lot of questions come through the chat. I apologize we weren't able to answer them live, but I promise you that we will get back to each and every one of you with an answer. Again, I want to thank our speakers for this excellent presentation, and I would thank all of you for joining us today. And with that, I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Vicki. Thanks, Henry.